Tonight, he will speak about acid-base balance of the body, and I cannot wait to learn about this subject and why it is so important. So I would like to turn it over to Dr. Zoltán Szűcs. It's over to you. Thank you so much for the introduction. I also warmly welcome everybody here. It's a very exciting subject because we can say that it's a bit misunderstood, I guess. And I would like to explain it a little bit more so that you can understand. So acids and bases, alkalization, acidosis of your body, the processes involved. These are concepts which you can run into on the internet many times. And I would like to give you some background information. Are we justified in saying that the body can become acidic? Does it make sense to say that we want to alkalize our bodies? I think mass media works in a way to focus on certain topics, and this is a topic which has been discussed in a lot of detail for years, but I'm not sure that we are talking about the points, the exact things which are important. So I would like to clarify some concepts. There are two schools of science regarding this issue. One of them says that acidosis and acid-base balance is completely, utterly false. But there is a larger camp which have found some evidence that this problem exists. And I will go somewhere in between because the two camps talk about different things. And probably this is the message of the lecture today, to look at the problem from another viewpoint. So let's start now by sharing my screen. And I hope you can see it. As I have done this before, out of the fire should be the motto of this episode too, because I respect Dr. Paul Clayton's work, who's been focusing on inflammation and who's worked out the background of the Zinzino Health Protocol and theory. Based on his observations, there are things which have been implemented into practice and which will be implemented into practice in the future. So I'm closer now to the topic, because the subtitle of this lecture is bases and acids and the balance of a scale. And this is linked, strongly linked to inflammation. As I have said before, every single time, harms of civilization or lifestyle diseases are the things that we should concentrate on. This Health Academy series have dealt with all kinds of illnesses, problems, inflammation-linked problems, processes which cause hidden inflammation or which cause inflammation. it's very important to say that all these are caused by processes of the human body, and it's no coincidence that Zinzino focuses on how to handle that point. And we want to get to the root causes of these problems. Tonight's lecture will track down the causes, and even more than before, we will focus on diet. So let's start by clarifying what human metabolism is. Those of you who have attended my lectures have heard about this since we discussed metabolism in a lecture. This same slide was presented there, but I use a different word here, which is homeostasis, which means balance. It's a dynamic balance. The human body seeks balance, wants to maintain balance against all odds, and this is homeostasis. If you are out of balance, the body tries to offset it or rebalance it, and bases and acids are related to this as well. So our internal environment, or the homeostasis, is the purpose of human existence. I mean, the physical aspect of human existence. All the regulators in the human body, all regulatory processes, all the processes uh, will will serve this purpose. All living organisms uses energy from food and stores food, creates complex molecules or break them down, can convert them into other chemicals, and this is a constant dynamic change. All processes are a balance of processes which build things and break things down. And this is what the body does so that it can get more energy, so that metabolism can continue. It will combine simple molecules into complex ones, and you will see that the body will get energy from these processes. This attempt to maintain stability ensures our health, that we can be healthy. All imbalances of any subsystems or disturbances, if homeostasis is at risk, then the body should rebalance it, or if there is a state, there can be states which are not good. However, they are a kind of balance, but there is a lot of effort to maintain balance, and the body needs to pay a high price. Inflammation is one of these processes which is switched on to protect things, but then it goes out of control, and that is not homeostasis anymore. The basic balances, stabilities. For example, body fluids should have a constant volume. Even if you drink 3 liters of liquids, what is not needed your body will get rid of it. Respiration, perspiration, defecation, urination, you will lose fluids, and this should be in balance. That's the Latin for it. and the osmotic concentration should also be constant in your body. It means that liquids, volumes in blood and intercellular uh, liquid or fluids, body fluids, in in a lot of through a lot of processes, they should be in balance. For example, blood should have a pH, and stomach acid should have another pH, completely a different pH. And this can vary to a degree, but they are constant. Hydrogen ion concentration, its stability, pH. That is the pH which we are discussing here. There are acids and bases, and there should be a balance between them. This should be a constant in the body, stability. You cannot, if your body is acidic, it's an illness. The body cannot go into over alkaline because there are mechanisms to prevent it from happening. These are buffer systems which demand that the blood must have a constant pH, which is 3.35 and 3.45. A very extreme example. If you drink acids or very acidic fluids, even then your blood pH won't go under 7.35, and if you drink extremely alkalizing fluids, it won't go above 7.45. And constant ion composition and constant body temperature. These are the constants because of which the body can survive. It may seem that this is very far-fetched, a very distant approach, but what I would like to call your attention to is that when we talk about acids and bases, when we talk about over acidity and alkalization, let's not forget the fact that the human body will maintain these pH values, and these cannot change only to a very, very small degree. So how can we alkalize? How can we eat an alkalizing diet, which is a healthy diet, that it can have a very good effect on our bodies? How can it be that certain diets that we know these are acidic diets will create inflammation, I would say inflammation causing or inflammatory diets? So how can you be so ill if they change your balance only to a very small degree? Because this is not only a question of pH in the body. There are some diagrams which I need to show you. When I say over acidity, from this point you should think of oxygen deprivation. This is a state where cells are full of metabolic waste, which stops respiration, circulation, and the organ which is affected does not have homeostasis. You can say here there is food going out, going in, and oxygen through the blood. They get to the cells, and of course digested carbs, proteins, and fats, micro and micronutrients will get into the cells through a series of complex chemical reactions, not just one channel. There are many channels. It will create ATP, energy. It will release carbon dioxide through respiration and water. This is cellular respiration. The purpose is to provide energy that we can use and to make certain biochemical processes work correctly. Acidification means deprivation. For example, lack of oxygen. This is a serious problem today, very serious. It doesn't mean that the air doesn't have oxygen. It means that you cannot uptake enough oxygen because you don't exercise, because your circulation is weak, because you don't have enough nutrients which would help. There are toxic processes, waste products, which will bind to the oxygen. You eat the wrong kinds of foods, which cannot support healthy cellular functions, or your cells will waste a lot of oxygen to try to maintain balance. As a result, cellular metabolism will change, and it's like putting the wrong fuel into your car. Normally, there are things in your car which will filter exit fumes, and we want the car to work efficiently with the smallest amount of waste products. This is what the cell does, tries to initiate processes which mitigates or prevents harmful processes and products. But we are overloaded with toxins, stress, diet, lifestyle, inflammation itself, that this overload will uh, will kick you out of balance. In my understanding, acidification means this. I didn't even talk about pH here. So when we talk about acidification or alkalization, this is my interpretation of these terms. So if we influence these metabolic processes, oxygen deprivation, which is full of waste products, if we can stop that from happening, or if we can rebalance the human body, we can create an ideal environment for the body to maintain balance or homeostasis. Your body, through millennia, the body has not consumed overprocessed burgers and French fries and stuff like that. We have been consuming phytonutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, easy to digest proteins, healthy fats. And this is what I'm going to talk about a little bit more. I have already covered diet before, but today I would like to put more emphasis on this. This diagram and very many similar ones on the internet will tell you what makes your body acidic, what are neutral, and what foods will alkalize your body. This is my opinion about this. This is not true as it is. Without doubt, the foods here will have a negative effect on your body, and on the other side, there are foods which have a positive effect on your body, but we cannot just define it by pH. So this chart is not correct as it is, and this is very controversial. As I said, normal pH is between 7.35 and 7.45. This is the pH of the blood. And there are certain mechanisms which maintain this balance. I would like to talk a little bit about these mechanisms before I would start discussing the factors that which influence them. Two charts here. Think about the fact that today medicine defines 4 illnesses which describe the disturbed pH of the body, and they are diagnosed. So they are terms or labels which diagnose such states in modern science. First of them is metabolic acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, respiratory acidosis, and respiratory alkalosis. These are not so nice, but you have to understand what you have to understand, and you will see it here, that the two main characters are the lungs and the kidneys. These are the organs which are capable of handling changes which which would drastically change the pH balance of the body. Either the kidneys or the lungs or both will interfere, and they will change metabolic processes, their own functions. You will hyperventilate, you take breath more often, and the kidneys will change the level of hydrogen carbonate. And these are the two factors, and how they try to maintain balance will determine you will see a system here. This is a buffer system. It's very rare when these 4 illnesses, which are serious conditions, develop. If you have diarrhea constantly, or if you vomit constantly in your last 4 or 5 days, this balance can go out of control, and your body will work against this imbalance so that it's not permanent. It will rebalance. You need to drink some isotonic drinks with calcium, sodium, magnesium, which can help, which your body needs to make this system work. All right. So from now it will be a bit lighter, easier to understand. So can we talk about foods which can help your buffer systems work better? Or if there are a lot of toxins in your body, they can help you get rid of them. Yes, we can say these are alkaline foods, or we can say they are high nutritional value, low calorie foods. If we want to be more specific, we will assign another label to them. What is the problem? In fact, our diet today, most of it, uh, will contain uh, processed foods manufactured by these companies, which contain nothing like what we can see here. So these food products are imbalanced and pro-inflammatory, which makes your body acidic as well. But there is an important factor here about diet and how to find balance. I'm sure you have heard about ketogenic diet or paleo nutrition. I would like to say just a few words about this ketogenic food pyramid. I go down one more level. This is a diet which has been for generations. It has provided humans with nutrients through human evolution and how our genes evolved. These were the foods that we could consume, and these are the foods that the human body has the most or highest level of affinity for. Dramatically, in a dramatically short time, this kind of diet was replaced by uh, processed foods shown before, and the human body is not able to adopt to such a drastic change. We cannot do that. It's curious that when we examine this pyramid, which contains high quality proteins, fats, and a lot of vitamins, minerals, and very little high carb fruits and other stuff. It doesn't contain cereals, grains. It doesn't contain added sugar, starch only some kinds, fruits selectively, berries are preferred. It requires you it defines people who eat a lot of fruit is just the tip of the pyramid. The base should be grains and fats. The thing is, if strictly we examine this, let's look at the word ketogenic. It means that your diet, most of your diet, your diet will provide from ketones. Traditionally, this can be viewed as an acidifying diet. They are acidic or can cause acidity in that sense. Still, this is a very healthy diet because we are not talking pH here. The diet, this healthy and healing diet, the backbone of such a diet is fewer carbs, starting from zero, because it contains natural fats, fish, seafood, meat, high quality meat, eggs, cheese, fermented dairy products, I would say. Milk is not preferred, vegetables, all kinds of all kinds of vegetables. And what this diet avoids, this ketogenic, is, for example, pasta, fruit, potatoes. This is crossed out. We don't want these at all. It's not a grain-based diet is not a good one. We cannot be proud of eating a lot of bananas, that we drink soda, that there is a lot of carbohydrates in our breakfast, or you eat a lot of sweets. And if you consume a lot of them, this is a dramatic change compared to what we used to eat 100 years ago. So I'm going to show you a thing where the pH of the blood uh, is out of balance, and this acid-base balance is completely disturbed. This is ketoacidosis. I said ketosis. Ketosis is a good thing. When you take carbs when you eat only 5% of your diet as carbs. Today it's more like 50% for many, and if this is decreased, the body will work in ketosis. You can lose weight. It's very healthy. Your mind, your thinking will be clear. You will get rid of a lot of toxins, waste products. This is the alkalizing diet, but I don't want to use this word. This is a very good diet, I would just say. There is an optimal ketone zone. You can see the specific figures here, but you should be careful. But because there are people whose bodies cannot tolerate this, they can go into a serious condition, especially when they don't know that they have a pre-diabetic state, or they know that they are diabetic, still they start on such a diet. I'm talking about type 1 diabetes, and where the pancreas is overloaded, absolutely overloaded, because this can go a into a state which is called ketoacidosis. They will have serious inflammation in their bodies. The pH of their blood will drop. And this needs emergency procedures. Normally, this is a very rare condition. What I would like to say is that there is a healthy range that you can keep your body with diet. And this is not a big thing, because humans have been able to maintain their diet in this range for millions of years. Carbs, uh, carbs and fats provided energy equally. There were periods when people were full, and there were periods when people were fasting. Today, carbohydrates are in abundance constantly. This causes problems. And this is truly the essence of the acid base question. So it's a carb-rich, sugar-burning diet, which is harmful. You might think that this has been a bit too much now, but we have talked about a lot of topics, subjects, and this is a hot topic, and I wanted to speak about it, despite the fact that this is a bit more complex. And I hope that you've been able to understand my point, and you will be able to see what solutions we have and how well the Zinzino concept matches this line of thinking. When you are full of toxins, deprived of oxygen, uh, the opposite of that is high quality diet, high quality supplements. Inflammation is has as its opposite uh, anti-inflammatory products, for example, Zinzino products. You can see chronic inflammation in every single part of the human body, as shown here. The red zones are parts where there is inflammation. And all this will overload the systems and organs of your body. All bodily systems are involved. What will make it worse? Stress. What does stress do? In itself, it will overload the organs, which could create homeostasis or balance. The acid-base balance. This will affect the kidneys. It will affect your lungs, uh, your circulation as well. And stress will affect each and every single organ, as you can see in these columns. In the short term, it can be a positive effect, but in the long term, it will always overload your organs. Background information was provided by Dr. János Seje, who defined how stress overloads your body in the long run. Your body will try to create resistance against an impulse coming from outside, but this is possible only until a time when your systems will collapse, and that's why you need to avoid things, influences, foods which create free radicals. Stress will create free radicals. Air pollution, preservatives in the food, smoking, radiation will create free radicals. All kinds of G's in the air will create strange effects in the body on your psychological functions, and through that on your body. To avoid it, you can find methods, foods, supplements, which if you use them, they mitigate stress, prevents your body from going out of balance. Viva Plus in the Zinzino portfolio is a product which contains a saffron extract, It's an adaptogen which helps your body adapt to certain impulses, certain influences from the environment. The more resilient your body is, the bigger influences it can offset,
annál jobban reagálsz a külső
the the
ingerekre.
better the better off you are.
Valójában ezt a küszöböt, ezt az inger
Viva
határt
will
magasra emelni, hogy
put
ne
your
legyen az
capability
olyan terhel,
higher,
az a környezet,
raise your ability,
és így el is
capability
változik
higher
a szervezeted reakciója.
to handle stress,
Több éjszakai alvás,
and your reactions will be different. You can sleep,
nem
you
csak
can
a szervezetnek
regenerate,
kell regenerálódni. Minden
and
szervednek
not only
kialakulnia valója.
your nervous system, all your
Gyakorlatilag
organs need to
magadtól
regenerate.
ezzel a technológiával, amivel elő van állítva,
Viva
standardized
has always standard amounts of
pontosan mennyi hatóanyag
active
van benne, hiszen
ingredients.
erre van beállítva az adott készítmény.
That's why there is standardized. It's a standardized product. So
Pontosan ugyanannyi
in
mennyiségű
all
hatóanyag
each
van
and
benne.
every single box,
Tudjuk, hogy a sáfrány is
you
kicsit
have the
rosszabb
same
évjárat,
amount of ingredients
kicsit jobb évjárat, mint a boroknál, kicsit
because
rosszabb
as
évjárat,
with vines,
így
saffron
virágzik.
in this season or that season
Aztán
can
tartalmazó
be different.
lényegét,
But
beltartalmat
because it's
ettől függetlenül,
standardized,
hiszen a
uh,
technológia addig töményíti, addig koncentrálja a
that
hatóanyagot,
technology
amíg
will
eléri azt a
concentrate
bizonyos
uh,
tartományt. Ezek a
the product
anyagok
until it
5-10
reaches
százalék.
3.5%
A
bioactive
tovább megyünk egy
compounds.
gondolattal a
Let's
homeosztázis
look at
irányába, vagyis az
homeostasis.
immun
There
homeosztázis
is an immune homeostasis or balance.
korábbi előadásokban beszéltem
I
már erről.
have
Ez
covered this
egy
before.
kulcsfontosságú területe
A
a
crucial
bélflóra és az
part
emésztőrendszernek.
of this is
Ha
your gut
kialakult az
flora and
egyensúly,
your digestive system.
tehát a
If there
jó
is balance in your
baktéria
gut and the good
egyetértésben
friendly bacteria can grow,
az
they
antibiotikusatási
produce
anyagokat
antibiotic
termel,
substances, vitamins,
visszafordítják a
help minerals absorb. They will keep your system clean and not like
Ilyen
this.
toxinokkal teli
This is a system full of toxins, parasites.
mondhatjuk azt, hogy az emberi
So we can
szervezetben
say that in the human body,
fő méreganyagforrás,
uh,
toxinforrás
a
a
huge
levegő.
cause of
A
producing toxins
megbetegedésnek egy nagy stresszornak
is
nevezhetjük,
handled.
mert van
A, a, a
táplálékvezetése,
huge stressor
természetesen van.
of the human body
Toxinok találkoznak az emberi
because
szervezetben,
foods will
ennek a hátjában,
get to your digestive system where they can absorb,
individuális
there
anyagok által átalakításra kerülnek,
they are converted
de ha ez nem
into
megfelelő
other things.
minőségű
But
élelmiszer,
if this food
nem
is
tudod
not
emészteni jól,
appropriate, you cannot digest
ez
it
egy terhelő anyag.
uh,
Ezt hívjuk
perfectly.
étel stressznek,
That's
étvágyállapotnak.
food stress, stress caused by
Tehát a
foods.
gyenge emésztés, nem
So
tudom,
poor
hogy ti
digestion,
tudjátok, a gyenge
you know
emésztés
that poor
emészthetetlen
digestion
maradványokat
will produce
eredményez. És ezzel
undigested
fog az
foods,
immunrendszer egy
undigested
gyógyszerházat
food
alakítani.
particles, and
Tehát az
your
emésztőrendszernek
system, your body will respond with inflammation.
azok például nagyon szélsőségesek. A gyomorban 2-es a pH.
pH
De
is
itt az emésztőrendszerben
2.0
azért 7-es,
in the
8-as.
stomach.
Az
In
F-nek
other
megvan a
parts,
nagyjából megvan a maga
it's very alkaline. But
gyógyszerkapaciteta,
all
vérrészségek,
organs
pH
will
stabilitása.
have a narrow
Elfolytottam a pH-irányítót,
pH
ezek az
range where
enzimek
it can
azok
function
aktiválódnak,
properly.
amit nem tudsz emészteni.
If this is not,
Egy
if your
enzim azért
pH is
nem,
out of that
azért
range,
tudja
your
elbocsátani
enzymes will not work
a fehérjét,
properly,
mert az
efficiently.
az enzimet,
Enzymes
amelyik
will be
az
able
egész
to break
kertőzésnek
down
kifizet pénzét.
proteins because they are active
De mi
in a
van,
certain pH
hogyha neked
range.
nincs elég gyomorsavad?
But if you don't have enough stomach
Gyomorsavad nincs,
acid, or if
vagy
your
nem
bile
képes
is
nyerni
not high quality,
termékeny. Nagyon
or
változik a
if your
képességed,
pancreas will not produce what needs to be produced, enzymes will not activate and you will not be able to digest your food. Believe me, this is a very common problem today, very common, especially because if your body cannot maintain balance, at least you should eat food which has a lot of enzymes already, living foods, green veggies, certain fruits, certain spices, certain seeds which sprouts, which are sprouted. We would like to support this balance. That's why we have Xenobiotic, because it's a product which contains 8 dietary fibers in a combination, which help all uh, all parts of your uh, intestines. You cannot digest this product. The Zinzino created it to feed your bacteria, good bacteria in your gut, and they are very grateful for this. When you eat junk food and overload your system, uh, the bad guys are happy uh, to get it, to get such foods. They will proliferate, grow, overgrow. They will um, they will occupy more territory. And if you eat xenobiotic, then good guys will take over and create a healthy gut flora. In order for the human body to maintain balance, not only pH balance, uh, building processes and and uh, and processes which break things down. Uh, for example, you need to regenerate injuries which are created every single moment. You need nutrients, nutrient-rich foods, and these are found in plants. We call them secondary uh, plant-based nutrients. I would say they are helping hands which provide vitamins, certain enzymes, certain protective chemicals, immune protectors, antioxidants, all kinds of minerals and trace elements. They are building blocks as well. They are essential nutrients. In today's diet, there are a lot of deficiencies. And if you can create a diet um, which contains all of these nutrients, that's nice. But we have a product which copies nature, the best combination. In extent, 23 ingredients, minerals, vitamins, and phytonutrients uh, are there, the full portfolio. We are talking about a lot of active ingredients here in the most natural form. This is a very good product to maintain homeostasis. Extant Plus is the same. It is also GMO-free, soy-free, gluten-free, and compatible with a ketogenic diet, fully vegan as well. Even excipients are all natural.
És az utolsó gondolat
And the last
ezen a vonalon,
part,
az, az
the
előadásom
last
elején
piece of the
említett
puzzle,
gondolata.
and I would like to go
Ez a
back to
sejt.
the first part of my lecture,
Egészséges sejtműködés.
healthy
A sejt
cellular
respirációja.
function,
Egy sejt,
cellular
látható az
respiration.
ábrán itt a
You can see a
képrészen.
cell here.
Egy sejtecske az önálló életre képes.
It
Ő a
is
legkisebb
capable
lényeg
of
a mennyeiségben.
living an independent life.
Ő önálló anyagcserét folytat.
It has its own
Neki vannak
metabolism.
savanyagai, vannak
It
méreganyagaik.
produces toxins,
Őneki
toxic
vannak
waste products.
táplálék igényei,
It
amit a
has
vérmennyiségben
certain
kell
nutritional
ellátni.
needs
A
which
sejt
it can
membránján
get through
keresztül, amit itt
blood
látnak kiterítve,
circulation.
különféle csatornákon
And
vagy
you can
útvonalakon
see its wall,
közlekedik
the
ez a
cell
sejt.
membrane,
Vagy amelyik egyébként passzív
which
módon
will
működik, vagy ilyen aktív
let
folyamatokban, amiket az
nutrients
emeltet,
through.
szó szerint.
And there are certain
Na
nutrients
most ahhoz, hogy
which need to be
teljesítsen ez a
processed to get
funkciója,
through.
hogy milyen stabil ez a
The
membrán,
life of
ez a
these
sejtnek a
cells will depend on how
működése.
stable the
Hogyha
cell
megnézzük,
membrane is.
megvizsgáljuk,
If we examine
zsírokból
the
áll.
cell membrane, it consists of
Porcelánszerű
fats.
zsírokból áll.
It is
Ezek a nagyon érdekes
basically
maszlagok, ezek a
full of
proteínok,
fats.
de van benne
The pink ones
koleszterin,
are
elvileg vannak benne
proteins.
proteínok, koleszterin, vannak benne
The
különféle ilyen-olyan úszkáló
all kinds of things, small
de ez akkor
things
működik
float
jól,
there,
ha ez
but
a lipid réteg,
this lipid
ez a
layer,
hulladékoknak a lipid rétegnek egy
phospholipid
egyensúlyban van.
bilayer,
Szabályos
should be in
összetevőkből áll,
balance.
megfelelő összetevőkből áll,
It
szabályosan működik.
must be composed of the right
Ez
stuff
annyit
in the
jelent,
right balance.
minél magasabb az omega-3
The
tartalma
higher
ebben a
the
membránban,
omega-3 ratio
ez a
is,
sejt annál jobban él,
the
annál,
better
annál
off
könnyebb
this
az
cell
általa létrehozott
will be.
anyagcserét létrehozni. Sőt, megfordítom, ha ez a membrán
And
tele van
conversely,
mondjuk omega-6
if
zsírokkal,
this membrane is full of
amiből a mai napig
omega-6
ezek mutatják, hogy
fats,
ezek a cégek hogyan miket gyártanak,
processed foods are full of
lufinosított,
omega-6.
akkor viszont ez
So
a
if that's the
membrán
case, this membrane won't
ez
work
maga
properly.
sejtszintű gyulladásos mechanizmus,
It will create inflammation,
ez a
cellular
integritás,
inflammation, the
ilyen
integrity of the
szétszedhető,
cell,
könnyen átállító
that
rajta
it's
dolgokat,
resilient and also
ezeket
it's the membrane is flexible. Well,
elveszíti a
it
sejt
won't be flexible anymore.
életképességét,
It will
megveszíti a sejt
lose its
gyakorlatilag.
capability to survive. It will
Viszont
be a
attól, hogy mit
sick
eszel.
cell.
És
And
akkor
it all
ahhoz
depends on
tested
what you
jól
eat.
letesztelni, hogy ez
You
nem
can test
fogyasztás.
yourself
Mert ahogy a
if
membránban
you
van az
use
arány,
balance test.
nagyjából a sejtjeidben is az lesz az
Whatever
arány.
the balance of
Ha
fats
véredbennek
is
látod
in
magad,
your blood,
nagy
it will be
mennyiségű
the
omega-3-at
same in your
szenvedsz,
cells.
ezzel azt
If you
mondom,
take a lot of
ha ilyen
omega-3s,
étrendet fogyasztasz, vagy ilyen
if you
étrendet
eat
építesz
such a
föl neked
diet
mondjuk,
or if you use
mondjuk
such a
a
supplement like
balancsolaj
balance oil,
ebben az esetben, akkor a véredben megnöveled az omega-3
you will
képességedet,
increase
ezáltal a
omega-3
sejtjeid
levels in
ezt
your
fogják
blood,
építeni.
and this is what
Hiszen a jelenlegi
your
sejtekben nem
cells
nagyon
will
széthalnak,
reflect.
de van olyan sejted, amit 2 nap múlva
The
lecserélünk,
cells
valamelyik egy hónapig
will
él,
die,
valamelyik egy hónapig
the
él,
current
valamelyik
ones,
pedig 5 évig él,
and certain cells will live only
nem
just
állandóan
hours
állapotban
and
vannak.
for a few days, few weeks, and
Akkor építkeznek
few of
egy
them will live
alternatív sejtet.
for
Ha
longer.
neked a véredben
And
sok
they will be
omega-3-at van,
built from what can be found in your blood.
az
Whatever
hol,
is
ha
in
van
your
ott,
blood,
akkor abból.
they will
Mi
build
a különbség?
themselves from
Az, hogy az
that.
omega-3 a gyulladásos mechanizmusok ellen hat,
So
az
omega-3s
omega-6
will
pedig
be
elviszi. Két külön
anti-inflammatory,
molekuláról
while
beszélünk,
omega-6s will be
egyik másikra fordul át a
pro-inflammatory.
szervezetbe és a környezetünkbe is.
Omega-6s and
Az
omega-3s are
omega-3-at
pretty
gyakorlatilag a legnagyobb
similar in
részében
structure.
a halak húsából
Omega-3s will
és
come from
növényekből
fish and certain
szerzünk. Tengeri
sea
növényeket
foods.
nem fogyasztunk,
We
halat
don't really
fogyasztunk,
eat
van,
them
de
here,
még eltörpül amellett,
and not much
amennyi
fish,
más típusú zsiradékot fogyasztunk,
but we eat
az
a
viszont dugig van.
lot of other
Ilyenek a
fats
növényolajak.
which are full of
És hát minél
omega-6s,
inkább
like
feldolgozott
plant oils.
növényolaj,
And the
látható
more processed
ide
these
a
vegetable
kis
oils,
napraforgóolajak,
like refined safflower oils,
ezek gyakorlatilag
margarine.
teljes mértékben
These
omega-6
are
dominanciát
purely
mérsékelnek.
omega-6.
Szóval az igazi megoldás az, hogy
So the solution
hal,
is
halhús,
fish,
halolaj,
fish
és
oil.
ha már készítményről beszélünk, akkor viszont olyannak kell
And
lennie,
if we talk about
ami
supplements,
másolja
it
a
must
természetet,
be
másolja a
an
talajtáját.
exact copy of
Ehhez
nature,
lehetséges,
a copy
hogy
of what
halolaját úgy dolgozzák ki,
original
hogy
fish
nagyon
is
sok
composed
mindenben
of.
a
When
természetesnek
fish are
anyagok
processed
vesznek el.
to
Zsírsavanyok,
derive fish
antioxidánsok
oil,
elveszünk a táplálékból,
antioxidants are lost,
de mondjuk ezt
vitamins
megfelelő
are
dózis
lost,
visszapótolva,
certain other
egy
chemicals are lost. But if we put them back, we can do that with olive oil,
tehát
high
antioxidánsat, a holmizomból
polyphenol,
visszapótolva,
high antioxidant
fizikai úton
uh,
tisztítva,
content
nem vegyszerezve,
olive oil.
fizikai úton, akkor jutunk el a balanszolajra.
And when we
És a
combine
balanszolaj
fish oil and
egy
olive oil, we get
szénhidrát,
balance oil.
neked igazoltan, hiszen
We can rebalance
tudattal,
our
igazoltan tudatosan
omega
meggyőzhetem arról,
levels and you can test yourself
a
again to see
létrejönni
your
ehhez,
results. The point is,
ehhez megfelelő dózist kell alkalmazni,
you need
megfelelő
to
mennyiséget
take
kell
this
alkalmazni.
in
És itt
the
megint
correct
elmondom,
dose.
az a testtömeg kilogramra van kiszámolva,
This can be,
ez a
because it's a
mennyiség
liquid, this can be
gyakorlatilag képes
consumed
egy
uh,
egyensúlytalanságot,
according
ami
to
az
body weight.
omega-6 túlsúly, visszahúzni.
You can rebalance your omega-6 to 3 levels.
Egyensúlyról beszélünk.
So this is also homeostasis.
Az egész előadásban az egyensúlyról beszélek.
This lecture
A
has
mérleg
focused
viszonyáról,
on balance,
savak és bázisok,
acids and bases,
ketogén étrend versus
ketogenic diet
hiperkálius, gyulladáskeltés,
versus carb-rich diets,
gyulladáskeltés,
pro-inflammatory,
egészségre,
anti-inflammatory,
a flóra, a bélflóra
gut
egyensúlya,
flora
az immune
balance,
homeosztázis.
immune
Látjátok,
homeostasis.
hogy mindenhol a
You can
szervezetben
see that
egyensúlyt
your
keresünk
body
szerte.
seeks balance everywhere,
Ugyanezekbe csak olyan pontokat teszünk be, kulcspontokat, amelyekkel
and
tudjuk segíteni ezeket a
we just
folyamatokat. Mert ezek a
use
folyamatok
certain
hideg
tools
betegségek miatt,
to help the body reach
étrendhibák,
balance.
stressz, stb.
And if you are stressed, if there are deficiencies in your diet,
nem tud megvalósulni.
you are overloaded,
Azokat
your
a
body is
dolgokat,
overloaded and
amelyekkel a
cannot
természet
maintain balance.
homeostatikus törekvését megvalósítjuk,
And if we help your body
akkor
maintain
már segítünk
balance,
a szervezetnek.
we are winning.
Az egész előadásnak, ahogy rendszeresen és mindig is a
I
megelőzés a lényeg.
always say prevention is key.
Megelőzzük a betegségeket.
We
Próbáljuk
prevent
meg olyan
illnesses.
szemléletben kialakítani a világunkat,
We
az
try
életünket,
to
az
create
életmódunkat,
our own
amire
world
felhívtak kimondottan.
so that our lifestyle
És ez
and
egy ideje
diet
megvalósul.
can contribute
Úgy
to
ahogy a
maintaining
Dalai
balance.
Láma is
The
írta,
Dalai Lama
akiről
says,
illeti meg leginkább az
when
emberi
asked what
fajt,
surprised him most about
az azt
humanity,
válaszolta, hogy maga az
he
ember.
said man,
Mert
because he
felfedezi az
sacrifices his health in order to make
a
money. Then
pénzért,
he sacrifices
megszerezze
money
az
to
egészséget.
recuperate his health.
Mivel olyan
And then he is
érzékenységével
so
gazdag a
anxious about the future
jelenségben,
that he does not enjoy the
az
present.
eredmény az,
The result
hogy nem
being that
éli
he
majd
does
meg a
not live in
soha
the
jövő
present
életét.
or the
Úgy
future.
él, mintha
He
soha nem
lives
halna meg,
as if he's
és
never
úgy
going
hal
to
meg,
die
hogy soha
and
nem
then
fog meghalni.
dies having never really lived.
Én úgy gondolom, sokkal jobb itt is az egyensúlyra törekedni,
I think
és nem
the
feláldozni
best
az
option is
egészségünket,
to seek
hanem
balance,
azután
not to
dolgozni azon, hogy hogyan
sacrifice
elérjük
your
ezt.
health
Hanem
trying to get it
próbáljuk
back.
meg ezt az
Let's try
egyensúlyt
to
élni,
live
és ebben egy nagyon nagy
in this
segítséget
spirit,
gondolom a
and
Zinzino
Zinzino
Solutions
products will
előadása.
help
Nagyon
tremendously
szépen
in
köszönöm
your effort to do
a
that.
figyelmeteket.
Thank you for your attention.
Szép estét, sziasztok!
Have a good night. Goodbye.